This is Momma SEQ,
Donna SEQ.
and we are going to talk about boundaries.
So after you guys saw the video that we just did with TD Jakes and the 3 types of friends, we think it's really important that we come back to you. And also shout out to Yolanda, because Yolanda asked us to talk about boundaries. And so I've talked about boundaries several times before, and will continue to talk about boundaries because my consistency game is like on lock. And I've been talking about the same thing for years because some people didn't hear it from years ago. But the truth never changes, so I have no problem talking about it again. But it would be great for you guys to get my mom's take on boundaries. And as someone I used to work with said, I have boundaries and I'm going to use them. So.
And that's a great thing to do. And what I've learned in my life, I've never really set boundaries. I've had people come in and out of my life that really shouldn't have been there. And it could be family members, it could be classmates, it could be anyone that has been in your life that actually causes you some kind of disease. And what we really need to do is we need to examine ourselves and ask ourselves, why are they actually in our lives?
Well, so then let me ask you, why for years have you had people in your life who didn't really deserve to be there, who you didn't set boundaries for?
And a lot of that is because I didn't feel good about myself and felt that I needed someone actually to echo me.
Well, what's the root of you not feeling good about yourself? Was it a situation that happened? Like, what was the point in your life that you stopped feeling good about yourself and the boundaries went out the door? Because I remember as a kid, you had boundaries, so.
Certainly did. What happened is I've had a lot of relationships that have not been good for me or my kids or family in general. And because of the things that I've gone through, some of those battered woman syndrome, some of those low self-esteem, some of those a weight problem, I had all of those. And what happened is I wanted people to make me feel better because I didn't feel good about myself. So what I did is I allowed them to stay. And that was the wrong decision that I know now. But we all go through this, and we all have things that we actually have our own crosses to bear, and we really need to step up and get some clarity on why these people are actually in our lives and do something about ourselves to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah, so, boundaries are something that prohibit me from dealing with the BS that people try to bring my way. And, I may eliminate people every quarter from my life, but unfortunately, some of those people I let come back. Some of them I'm happy that they've come back. And then others should have never let them come back. Should have never let them come back. And then when I have like an out-of-body experience where I'm watching somebody disrespect me, it takes all that I have not to just go off, and I end up beating myself up in the end because there was never a reason or any sort of point in time where I should have allowed them to treat me the way that they treated me. So, I've started to set new boundaries, and I have to always re-examine my boundaries. Like, some of my boundaries aren't for everybody. And then when I meet new people now, I definitely have a guard up. No matter how great they say I am, I definitely have a guard up. Because I realize that a lot of people, they like to push the envelope. I'm not the one. And my new client, actually, celebrity client, and you know, she and I had a conversation about boundaries. She sets boundaries in her life, and when somebody does something that she doesn't like, they don't get a second chance. Period. Like, she doesn't revisit. She doesn't come back and say, oh, okay, well, maybe they were going through something. When a situation happens, she cuts them all the way off. I'm talking about all the way off.
And we really need to really find our gift of discernment and really look at what people we actually let in our lives, people that we revisit, people that actually don't need to be there because they don't bring anything to us. And a lot of times what I've found in my situation is I need to do something with me. So that means I need to search my inner workings to find out why I allow people to actually, I feel like I'm used. And that's not a good feeling.
What's an example?
Okay, I'll give you an example. I had an associate, because I'm not calling people friends anymore, but I had an associate that actually, when I was married to my now ex-husband, told me, oh, you know what, at least he has a job, at least he's this, at least he's that. And as soon as I married him, it was, I don't know why you did that. He's nothing that you need to be with. This is the same person that is bitter, who's never been married, who's never had any man in her life, has children, is overweight, not happy with herself, not happy with anybody, not happy at work, had the audacity to tell everyone how wonderful she is. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, and this is in my life? Really?
The broad couldn't come around me. She'd only been around me a couple times. I wouldn't allow her around my kids. Period. Okay, because negative Nadine couldn't come up over here. Period. Like, she couldn't come around me because she was just negative, and I didn't understand. Like, she would always want my mom to go kick it. Who kicks it when they're married? You know what I'm saying? And you want me to come kick it in your dilapidated house when you could have came over and kicked it at our house. But the same person that you told my mom was a great person to marry and then decided he wasn't a great person, you didn't want to come over because you didn't want to be near him.
Really?
Boundaries, bitch. Boundaries. I have a problem, right, with allowing people to shuck and jive me, right? Just had a shuck and jive, right? I ain't even going to go into the shuck and jive because I don't even want to put the broad on blast like that.
It was so bad that Dawn called me up and she's like, I'm so confused. I don't know what happened. And she was in such a state. I told her, I said, you know, the best thing you can do is go back into your energy that you just left. Go back to the beach, renew yourself, and then start again.
I mean, the person was talking and I was just sitting there like, confused. And I know that confusion is not of my God. Now that doesn't, so when I set boundaries and I use them, that doesn't mean that the person is a bad person. It just means that at the present time, they're not a good person for me. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm not going to let people come back into my life. Like, if you're not a good person for me right now, I'm not even going to revisit it later. Because every time I eliminate or I peel a part of the onion that's no good for me, I always get these like amazing breakthroughs. And I'm tired of giving people the benefit of a doubt they don't deserve, right? Like, you know, let's touch on family members. So I have a couple of family members that I definitely could do without, like, don't even want to be related to them. And I had to really come to a conclusion that I've been mad at my grandmother for years, my mom's mom, because my Uncle Mark molested me and my sister. And when my grandmother found out about it, I was an adult. My uncle sat in her house and admitted that he molested me, apologized for molesting me. And my grandmother said, "What do you want me to do? Press charges?" And when she said it, she was so nice with it. "What do you want me to do? Press charges?" And then I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? He just admitted it. Call the police. You know what I'm saying? Because it has shaped my life. And it's the reason why, you know, I can't be in healthy relationships. This is what I was saying at the time. So then all of a sudden my grandmother looks at me like I was a demon. And she was like, "What will that prove?"
And this is my mom. And I didn't find out that any of this had actually happened until my daughters were adults. It wasn't something that, and this is true with the African American family, they sweep everything under the rug. You never find out, and there's this generational curse that continues.
And then we're all supposed to just be kumbaya with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I watched my other uncle let the molester be around his daughters. And I'm like,
really?
For real? like there's a boundary that I have to set for myself. And it's like, you know, I don't even want to deal with anybody who's done something like that to me, right? But in the same respect, I've had friends that I feel have done me totally, I don't know, a disservice. And I take the blame for allowing people to treat me a certain type of way when I know I didn't deserve to be treated that way. But there's something to be said about the real special person who then comes back and wants to treat you even worse than they treated you the time before. That's what I just experienced. And, you know, it's not just because I have celebrity clients. It's not just because I make an all right living for myself and my mom got to retire well before retirement age, because you can't start collecting Social Security for another couple of years. You know, I'm sorry that, you know, my confidence in my swag is unlike a million, because I know what God has promised me, and I know that I've been doing the work for years. But when somebody comes into my life and they attempt to discredit everything I've been doing, the work that I've been doing, the seeds I've been sowing, so that they can make it seem like they're giving me ideas that I've already had, or
that you don't actually have a successful business, and that's businesses, not just one. It's more than two.
I have three.
And
I have
it's multiple.
3 businesses.
You know, there's multiple businesses. There are things that Donna's been doing for years that actually have trailblazed.
I've been making candles since 2002, started a business in 2004. I have been mentoring teens since I was a teen prostitute. Because back then, they didn't call us child trafficked teens. They called us prostitutes. So, not diminishing what they call it now. You know, it used to be manic depression and they called it bipolar disorder. Like, you can call it whatever you want to call it.
You can call a thing a thing.
Okay. But I've been mentoring teens since way back then. So, you know, when people... You have to open that. Hi. Hi. What's going on, man? You want to come get in our video?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
We have company.
we have company. You say hi?
Say hi. Say no. I'm not going to say no, I can't.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Hi.
He loved his shirt so much, he didn't want to take it off last night.
You love your shirt? Good morning. Good morning. Hello. What up, homie? I need you to notice that he always has his game face on. That is my son, aka game face, aka don't mess with me, aka
Set your boundaries.
Set your boundaries. You have boundaries and you're gonna use them?
Yes.
And my kids have boundaries. Trust me. There are certain things that they're not.
Trust me.
Trust me. There are certain things that they're not even about to deal with me, my mom. They have boundaries, you know, and they use them. And my kids could be a great lesson for anybody, right, that's looking to set boundaries. They definitely have boundaries. They use those boundaries every day forever. Anything else you want to say?
Yes.
What do you want to talk about? That's a good topic right there. Well, in conclusion, I am taking it upon myself to really just keep my boundaries intact. And, you know, you should have boundaries in every part of your life. You should have boundaries in your personal life, your professional life, your spiritual life, your financial life. You know, there are certain boundaries that you should have. You know, I know people that, you know, are more interested in flashy cars and, you know, big houses. Now, I'll admit, I live in a pretty nice house right now. You know, but I don't flash it. I don't try to, you know. I've had many luxury cars, many. And I'm rolling a Prius right now. You know. Rolling a Volvo right now. You know. So when I get around people who are only fixated on this stuff over here that I'm not fixated on, I have to set a boundary for myself. Like, I was coaching somebody not too long ago, and she was saying that her friends like to turn up. And I was like, yeah, but how does that help you? If you're not trying to turn up and you have kids, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. Like, maybe they can turn up, but if the relationship or friendship is predicated on you turning up with them, you know, people grow, and they grow out of situations. They grow away from situations. People don't stay the same forever. And if you're not growing, you're dying. Now, that's not to say that people that want material things are dying. That's just to say that I'm not at that place in my life, because I've already been there and done that several times. I'm a self-made millionaire. She'd tell you if I was lying. I've already been there and done that, okay? I had millions in my 20s. I'm now almost 40, and I'm looking to reestablish what I had prior. You understand? So I don't really have time to be focused on, driving a $100,000 car when I'm looking to purchase a house for my whole family. Putting things into perspective. You have boundaries and you should use them. So I don't know what else to say about boundaries except that it's an everyday process. I'm sure
It takes time. It's not something that, you have to take, you take lightly. It's things that you really need to sit down in a quiet place and examine what is best for your life. And if that means prayer, if that means, guidance, from, whatever books that you use, whether it be the Bible or anything else, get the clarity that you need and the discernment that you desire. And set your boundaries, and don't let people in your life that actually are not going to serve you.
Yeah, because I just had an incident where I was not served. And now I'm going to have to eliminate that person from my life. And I've known the person a long time. But we're just not in the same space anymore. And I have to just be okay with that. I am okay with that. So, Donna Self-Esteem Queen.
Momma SEQ.
And
Little man.
Little man. What's up, little man? You gonna say bye?
You say bye? He's not a morning person.
No. You say bye-bye?
Bye.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday. I love you. Is there another one coming? Hey, boy.
Oh. Feel.
Really? Are you happy?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Say thank you. What's that in your hand? What is it? Yogurt? Say, I have boundaries, and I'm going to use them. Say, Happy Tuesday.